Well, welcome back, my friends, to the Own Your Career series from Eventbrite. My name is Kay Allen Brownlee, and I am happy to see you again. This is week 3. We are on week 3, and there's only 7. So I'm just saying, this is going by really fast. But yes, we had a ball today. We had probably about 15, 20 folks. I say 20 folks on today. It was fun. If you missed it, I'm so sorry that you did. But hey, that's what the replay is for. And that's what we're going to get into today. So this week we were talking about stop settling and start leading, step up your game and position yourself as a leader even before you have the title. And we went deep. We went deep, and we went morally deep into ourselves because we all know how it is. We always feel like people should be promoting us, telling us what we need to do. But ultimately, I'm pointing that finger right back on you. Every time I rhyme, I do not do it on purpose, but I kind of like it. So today, that's what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to go through a couple of points in order to get us there. The bottom, my name is Kay Allen Brownlee. We are going to have fun going after this. All right, so let's go through the agenda. We're going to talk about me. If you have seen me, again, I'm going to go through who I am again because there's so many new people that are joining us from all over the world every single week. Today, we had folks from the UK again, from Ireland, from Canada, from Indianapolis. We had some folks from Denver. I'm not seeing a lot of folks from Georgia. What's up with that? But overall, we're seeing a lot of people from all over the globe. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all for even signing up and watching the replay. So just make sure you keep subscribing. If you didn't get the other ones, they're all on my YouTube page, the CareerSnobs YouTube page. And I'm going to keep adding on this type of stuff because I truly do believe that career training should be affordable and accessible. Hello. So anyway, this is our agenda. I'm going to give you a little bit more about me. We're going to talk about stop settling and start leading. We're going to go into the 3 points, which is how to know if you're settling, building leadership influence in your role, and why playing bigger doesn't require permission. We're going to go through a conclusion, and we're not going to do the Q&A and virtual network, clearly, because nobody's on here but me. But overall, if you do have questions, you can always reach out to me. I am always giving my LinkedIn, all that stuff. So if you have questions, you can totally do that. All right, so a little bit about me. My name is Kay Allen Brownlee. I am the owner and founder of CareerSnobs. At CareerSnobs, we believe that you should own your career and make it yours. We also believe that career training should be affordable and accessible, meaning you shouldn't have to sacrifice everything in order to get your potential. And what that means is that it shouldn't always cost you a couple grand in order to grow and learn some things, and that it should just truly be accessible. So this is my way of making it accessible. Eventbrite is open to all from all over the world, and this is free because I want to make sure that people don't feel like they have to pay for just common sense knowledge sometimes when it comes to growing your career. If you want to know if I should be doing this, I've been in the HR career talent field for almost 15 years or more, honestly. And that's what I'm doing. I'm flipping the script on this on purpose because even when I was in it and I'm going back into it, I always made sure that people knew their worth and what they were doing and how they were going to get there. And it doesn't take you just being in one spot forever. You could totally grow. And that's okay. And so, no, I was not just somebody who worked for 2 years and decided I wanted to launch a career coaching business. I've been in this. I've been through this. I've hired over 20,000 folks, whether it's class-based or individually, all combined, and had teams together in which we did it. And that's what I'm about, making this all accessible to you. So I am not a gatekeeper. I don't believe in fluff. I don't believe in lying. I believe in just giving you the hard truth. Hence the reason why I do it like this. And instead of sending over the Zoom one where people are kind of talking and having a conversation, and me just stopping where I'm at to answer questions, which I should be doing, I want you to have a clean version for yourself. All right. So let's get into it. I always start off with a pretty cool quote. This time it was about leadership begins when you stop settling and start owning your impact. The question I had asked everybody was, do you own your impact? Do you know it? Do you know what you build, what you bring to this world, to your life, to your personal life, to your career? What are those things? And I'll stop, think about it. Like, what impact are you having? And if you aren't having any, that's cool, but you probably are. You're just not aware of it. You have impact on more people than you know. So in my opinion, why not actively impact people versus you just kind of casually doing it? Why not? Why can't we just be impactful just to make sure that we can leave this world a whole lot more interesting than we left it? Okay. All right, so introduction. Play bigger, stop settling, and start leading. So when you think about playing bigger, this is interesting because people are like, what do you mean by playing bigger? It just means that you're putting a little bit more in, putting a little bit more on the table. If you play, cards or anything like that, like what are you putting on the table when it comes to your career and who you are? And so I asked the question, have you ever caught yourself playing it safe and waiting for the perfect moment? Perfect, or hoping someone will notice your potential. And those are all inclusive. Sometimes we are waiting for that person as the perfect moment to come around and say, you're doing great. Okay, you're excellent. It's time for you to move. Let's work on this potential. Let's do it. That does not happen a lot. And even when people tell you have potential, most of the time, they don't tell you how to even grow into it. They don't tell you what to do. You're just lost and floating around trying to figure out what in the world am I doing with this and how can I tap into it. And that's why I do what I do, because we are all born with it. We all have potential and we all have the ability to do a lot more. So just knowing that settling is it's not just holding you back, but it's holding you back from the impact you're having as far as leadership, and just knowing that it doesn't, leadership in particular, it doesn't start with a title. It truly starts with a decision. Your decision to watch this, your decision to sign up for this, your decision to make some different moves is the best decision you could have ever made. And I'm excited about it because I was part of that journey, and that's impact. See, you just logging onto this and watching 5 minutes, that's impact that I've had on you. And you going and telling somebody else about it, that's impact. You telling somebody, hey, you should probably watch this, that's impact. See, we think that impact means that worlds have to be reconstructed. No, impact is just telling somebody something, making somebody smile, changing somebody's mood. That's what impact is. So just keep that in mind, because ultimately we all have the power to influence, inspire, and to create change. All right, so let's get into our first point. How do you know if you're settling? 3 things. You feel comfortable but unfulfilled. You avoid conversations about growth, and your goals seem blurry or distant. Like, where are those goals? I don't even know. So, first point, if your day-to-day feels stagnant and there's no excitement or challenge, it's a sign you're settling. And the way that I explained it in the meeting today was the fact that imagine yourself, you're knocking it out the box, you're in your position, you do well, you get great reviews, you just, but something in you is like, I don't know if this is it. I don't know if this is it for me. And that's when you start to feel uncomfortable, you're feeling comfortable, but you're not fulfilled. You know what I mean? It's like being under a nice warm blanket, but you're hungry. You gotta go get some food. It's a terrible example, probably, but that's what it feels like. It's like I'm good, but I'm not. And that's when you have to start thinking about, what is it time for me to do in order to revamp this, to change these feelings, to really go in a different direction. Point number 2, you avoid conversations about growth. This is something we all have done. A lot of folks expect companies, people, organizations, nonprofit, whatever. We expect people to just do it for us. And honestly, it is not their job. Sorry, spoiler alert. It is totally not their job. It is not their job to change things, to help you completely reach your, but it's not. It's your job to reach your potential and to bring people along the way in order to get you there, right? And then build a community so you can reach your potential together. And the biggest piece about not talking about your growth, number one, most people do it because they don't know what they're going to do. They have no idea what's next, how to grow. And that's why I keep mentioning my career map. I know it's free. It's totally free. It's not a ploy to get you. It's free on purpose. This is the accessible piece. Because if you can map out what you want to do, you start to realize the help you need in order to get there. If I'm part of that path, great. If I'm not, that's fine. But I've already had what? Impact. And so keep that in mind. Like, if you're not advocating for your next step, if you don't know your next step, you surely can't advocate for it. And then if you're not engaging in development talks, what's going on, what's holding you back, how you can get forward, that is a problem that you do need to change. And then third, your goals seem blurry or distant or not at all. I probably should have put or, non-existent. You don't have clarity on what you want to do, where you're headed. It is a sign of settling into good enough. This is good enough, but it's not. So if you don't know your goals, and I don't mean like January 4th, January 1st, hey, Happy New Year, let me write 1,000 goals. No, if you don't know your career goals, like your phone number, then you need to figure that out, because at that point you have nobody else to blame but yourself, and nobody can help you out of something that you haven't even declared that you want to get out of. So just keep that in mind. Second point, building leadership influence in your current role. This is important. I know it kind of seems like, well, how do I go from that to that? Yes, because if you're in a current role right now, how are you mastering communication? How are you mastering through who you are, what you stand for, what you know, your education, your growth, where you truly, where you see yourself in an organization, how you see yourself impacting an organization in a different way. How are you focusing on active listening and tailoring your message to the audience that you have? Listen, we can only control the areas in which we're over, and most of the time it starts with us. So if you're not in control of yourself just yet, that's okay. That's what this is for. You will totally be able to grasp, I know what I want. I know what I want to do. So I'm going to start working with my business partners differently. I'm going to start working with my peers a little bit more strategically, right? It changes as you get more comfort in where you're going. I also want you to think about taking ownership beyond your job description, okay? I was given the example because I've written tons of job descriptions, how when you think about job descriptions, how they're filled with all this stuff, it's just stuff. And most of the time you end up doing way more than that, or some of that stuff you're like, I don't even know I even put that on here. You got to take ownership of it, though. You got to take ownership of your job, not just a description. Take ownership of it. Solve problems before they're asked. We had a question that it came up towards the end, or a comment about, typically we complain about problems at work. And I used to always tell the team that I had the pleasure of leading that, hey, if you have any ills about some of the stuff that's going on here, don't bring me the problem, bring me the solution. And in some cases, it might not have been a solution, but it's interesting because when you start working through the solution, you start realizing like, this is not as easy as I thought it would be, number one. But then you start thinking differently. And then your leaders and people around you start to see you differently. And I was saying, it's not like you want to become this fixer, so to speak, where everybody go to the fix, but you will naturally stop complaining about things because you'll see how hard they are to fix sometimes, or you will become more consumed with fixing it so we can move on. That is power in itself. And then building relationships strategically. Who are you getting to know? I am finding that a lot of folks who have joined this, you're not even on LinkedIn. Please, please, please get on LinkedIn. Link up with me. It's cool. I'm not coming for you and sending you some sleazy DM. I'm not doing that because that's not how I work. I do these because I want to help people. I want to have impact. And so think about, who are you networking with within your company, outside your company? Because if something happens in your company, who can you go to? Who can you reach out to? Who are in your industry? Like, who's setting the standards? That's who you need to be linking up with. That's who you need to be connecting with. Those are the people you need to be shaking hands with if you're going to those conferences. So just keep that in mind because it is important and it truly helps you build relationships that build results for sure. All right. Finally, why playing bigger doesn't require waiting for permission. This is good. I like this. So just know that opportunities don't knock. They are built. People are like, oh, opportunity's gonna knock on my door. I'm good. And people are gonna come and they're gonna be fighting over me. No, sometimes maybe, but most times no. So if you're waiting for someone to notice your potential, it's going to leave you stuck. It could leave you really, really stuck because number one, you start to get disappointed. You'll start to lose your confidence because you're depending on somebody else. I want you to be proactive and seek out creative opportunities. I want you to truly know that you're building opportunities for yourself. Start doing those things. It's important. Second, confidence grows with action, not approval. This one hit hard, y'all, because we had a couple folks who were like, hey, I'm having some confidence things here. And I told them a lot of times confidence starts in the house, like how we're raised, the people we have, how strong our families are. It really starts in at home sometimes. And, sometimes we get our wings and we fly, butterfly, fly eventually, but it takes time. And then sometimes we're still going back to those worlds, Christmas or holidays or whatever, and we're reverting back. So just keep this in mind. Confidence grows with action, not approval. You are in control of your life. If you are grown and you're watching this, you are in complete control of your life. You don't need to be ready to make moves, and you can take steps even if you're unsure. And third, you need to start setting your own standards. This is a big deal with background as well. Sometimes we're told what we should be, what makes more money, what makes more sense. But a lot of times we have stepped into this world and we're relying on an external validation to feel like we're good, to feel like we're great. And we are. We're amazing. I wrote something this week on LinkedIn, talk about you're a masterpiece. We're all masterpieces. We all, as the lady who made Spanx, she said, we all hit the lottery once already. So the fact that we're here already shows that we were supposed to be here. We're supposed to have impact. We're supposed to do great things. So why not do it? So define success on your own terms and stop thinking that you have to get permission in order to do it. All right, we're getting there. So conclusions. Number one, comfort zones are traps, not destinations. They are traps. They are like, when it's probably about, you go in the woods and you see those traps for it. Like it literally is, it traps you, it cleans you, it hurts you. It is not the destination. So let's start focusing on the destination. Recognize the signs of settling and take intentional steps to move forward. Intentional steps. Micro goals. I talked about this last week. Make some micro goals. Pat yourself on the back. Keep on moving. Make 2 micro goals. Pat yourself on the back. Keep on moving. You got to start doing things to build that own muscle, your heart. That confidence is all about the heart, about how you feel about yourself, about you feel about your work, your education, what you bring to the table. So just keep that in mind. 2, leadership starts where you are. You don't need a title. You can lead through influence, ownership. Relationships build leadership credibility. They do. Influence is the best way to lead. Hence the reason I put a capital I. Influence is the best way. The moment you learn how to lead through influence, you never expect for people to follow your leadership simply because you have the title. You have every ability right now to be able to truly grow and to truly do some magnificent things. So just keep that in mind. And then 3, permission is overrated. You don't need permission anymore. You don't. And I know you're like, well, I'm at a job and I need permission. No, you don't need permission to do things that go outside the scope of your job. You don't need permission to build a solution to a problem that was, because whether they accept it or not, they will see you put in the initiative. So stop thinking you don't have what it takes. You already have what it takes. And stop waiting for approval to start moving. And start moving towards your goals. All right, we did this, y'all. We did it. We're a little bit longer this time, but there was some chunky stuff that I wanted to make sure we got through. Before we get off, future events, I keep it all on Eventbrite on purpose. I always will. Take both, because there is an audience, and I'll say this, there is an audience outside of LinkedIn, outside of all these areas that do go on Eventbrite, and you're craving something, and I don't want to leave that. So I will be staying on Eventbrite for sure. Take bold actions, get real results. That's on the 25th. Step up or step aside. That's going to be a good one. February 1st. And then the fix you need. That's pretty much like the last one, I believe. And then the next one we have after that will just be questions. So there won't be any recording for that. But all the other ones, what I've been doing, I've been recording them, and then I've been putting them on our YouTube page, which is free. All right. This is my stand page example. Stand page it's like a world where it's almost like Linktree, but it's different. You can kind of put some things on and kind of you create this world where anybody you know can kind of go in and see your world. And so that's what this is. So scan this if you like. Also when I send back everything, it will have the website. It'll have all those things so you can check it out. Just so you know, get the career map. Get the career map. please. It's free. If you can't get through that thing, then you know you probably need some help. YouTube channel's free. CareerSnobs events are on Eventbrite. Power Moves newsletter is LinkedIn. So if you don't have LinkedIn, please get LinkedIn or just link up with me. And then the two products I do have a $99 career course. It is stellar. It is everything I go through with the coaching that I have, but it's you going through it on your terms. And then the coaching experience. I always tell folks when it comes to coaching, we must talk first. We must converse. If we vibe and I feel like it's something we can work through, we work together based on if you feel the same way. But if not, I'm not going to send you a link to something that costs a couple grand, and yeah, not going to do that. So we talk first and it's free. So, all right. I think that is it. Of course, no Q&A and no virtual network, but I do want to say thank you. Thank you so much for just truly coming through. I mean, every single week it's been new people, folks coming back, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm Kay Allen Brownlee with Career Snobs. As I said, I want you to own your career and make it yours. Thank you for joining the Own Your Career series week 3, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye.